All right, so Frankenstein, right? Everyone's got that image. Monster, the lab, electricity.
The whole cinematic thing.
Exactly. But we're going deeper, way deeper, this deep dive. We're using just one letter to unlock, like, a whole new level of Frankenstein.
It's true. One letter, and it's packed with insights, almost like a 19th century time capsule.
Yeah,
You know?
I love that. Okay, so picture this. You're Victor Frankenstein, just recovering from this weird illness. Your friend Clerval's about to leave,
A lot going on.
and boom,
Mhm.
you get this letter from Elizabeth, your cousin, your fiance. But it's not your usual "how are you doing" letter.
Not at all. It throws us right into the domestic world of the story, this world Victor's running from.
Right, like he's building a monster while Elizabeth's describing,
Right.
like a picnic by the lake.
Basically, she's detailing their life in Geneva, the mountains, the lake, even little Ernest wanting to leave home.
Foreshadowing, maybe.
Could be. But the point is, she finds joy in the everyday family routine, everything Victor's leaving behind.
Which makes his choices even more tragic, right? He's rejecting this idyllic life.
And here's where it gets really interesting. A big chunk of this letter is about Justine Moritz.
Justine Moritz. Who's that?
Their former servant, now back living with them. Might seem random, but this is Mary Shelley dropping social commentary.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Okay, so Elizabeth contrasts Geneva with these great monarchies, right? Geneva is different. It's egalitarian.
More progressive.
Exactly. And Justine, even as a servant, she was educated, treated with respect, practically unheard of at the time.
Makes you realize how intentionally Shelley built this world. But
Mm-hmm.
if Geneva's so great,
Hmm.
why does Justine's story still feel kind of sad?
Because even in a society aiming for equality, life is messy. Remember, Elizabeth mentions Justine's own mother mistreated her.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that detail.
It's subtle, but it hints at these darker issues lurking beneath the surface. Like progress isn't always a straight line, you know.
It's like this weird juxtaposition, right? We've got this progressive Geneva, then Elizabeth's all, let me tell you about these families.
Right. Total gossip session.
It felt a little out of place at first, but knowing Mary Shelley, she was up to something with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is Shelley the storyteller. It's not just gossip, it's character development, foreshadowing.
Okay, I'm hooked. Lay it on me. What's the hidden message in the Geneva gossip?
First of all, it shows Elizabeth's human. Yeah, she's sweet, virtuous, but also a little bit of a gossip girl.
Makes her relatable.
Exactly. But look at the marriages she describes. They all have this imbalance. Age gaps, the ugly sister versus the pretty one.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it. These seemingly happy couples, there's always some tension underneath.
Right, and it makes you think about Victor and Elizabeth. Cousins, this unspoken pressure on her to accept his proposal.
Even if her heart's not totally in it.
Exactly, like those cracks in the facade we talked about. But speaking of Victor, his reaction to this letter is so telling. He wants to write back, reassure everyone.
Sounds simple enough.
But even writing seems to drain him. This is where we see the gulf growing between him and Geneva, between him and Elizabeth.
He's becoming more and more isolated.
And remember how much Elizabeth loves writing. For her, it's connection, it's expression. For Victor, it's a chore.
Two completely different approaches to life. She thrives on people, he's withdrawing into his experiments.
And that difference, it's almost like a ticking time bomb.
You can feel it building, this sense of dread.
Especially with that detail Shelley throws in, Victor hating the sight of his instruments. Even when he's sick, he can't stand to be near them.
Like he's already sensing the danger of what he's creating.
Exactly. And that's Mary Shelley, man. These little details, these domestic scenes, they're building to something huge. It's not just about the monster. It's about what happens when we lose sight of our humanity, of our connections.
It's almost like she's saying, hey, Victor, look at what you're throwing away. This whole life, this connection, all for the sake of some experiment.
And that's the tragedy at the heart of Frankenstein, right? Not just the monster, but the choices that lead to that point.
This letter, this one letter, it's like it reframed the whole story for me. What about you? What's your big takeaway from this deep dive? What should our listener really chew on?
I think it's remembering Frankenstein isn't just a monster story, you know? It's about family, about ambition going too far, about how important human connection really is.
It's funny, those themes, They're still so relevant today, even centuries after Shelley wrote this.
Exactly. And maybe that's why we're still talking about it. It's grappling with what it means to be human, something that never really goes out of style.
So well put. It's like Mary Shelley gave us this whole tapestry, and we just pulled on one thread, this letter, and it unraveled all these layers.
And it makes you realize even the quiet characters like Elizabeth, they have so much to tell us if we pay attention.
That's what I love about a good deep dive. You can revisit something familiar and still find something totally new.
Absolutely. It's a testament to good writing. When something like a simple letter can be so packed with meaning, makes you wonder what else we might be missing if we don't look closely enough.
Right. It's all about that close reading, that deep dive. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you for taking this journey with me and to you, our listeners. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Frankenstein. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep diving deeper into the stories that move you.